Hi, everyone. I have a nonfiction or informative story for you called Alligators and Crocodiles. Now, I hope that we learn how to tell the difference between an alligator and a crocodile because I have a feeling we probably mix them up more than we realize. That's just a neat little picture on our cover page. Now, this book has something called a table of contents. Now, if you remember from some of our past lessons and read-alouds, the table of contents tells us all the things that we're going to be learning about and what page they're on. Guess what's different? Snap! What big teeth you have! Crocodiles and alligators look alike. They both have huge jaws with pointed teeth. They both have long tails. Bumpy plates cover their bodies. But crocodiles and alligators are different. How can you tell them apart? Now, if you look at these two, can you tell which one's a crocodile and which one's an alligator? Can you tell? Well, they are telling us that the top is a crocodile and the bottom is an alligator. Alligators have a wide snout. Snout is like that part of their nose. It is rounded and U-shaped. Alligators are usually a dark color. Crocodiles have a thinner snout. It is pointed and V-shaped. Crocodiles are lighter in color than alligators. So here we have an alligator, and we can see that his snout is more like a U, okay, and he's darker in color. Alligators usually live in fresh water. Fresh water is like a lake or a river where there's no salty ocean water. Crocodiles usually live in salt water, okay, and they are lighter in color, and we just read that its snout is more pointy. It's more like a V, okay? Now here's a quick little joke. What do you call an alligator detective? An investigator. Do you get the joke? Gator, like alligator. A pile of reptiles. Though alligators and crocodiles are different, they are both reptiles. A reptile's body has scales or bony plates. Snakes and lizards are reptiles with scales. Alligators and crocodiles are reptiles with bony plates called scutes. Both scales and scutes help protect the reptile's body. An animal that is cold-blooded and has scaly skin is called a reptile. Many reptiles lay eggs on land. So now we're going to look at some close-up pictures of some other reptiles. We have a chameleon, just like the story that we read a few weeks ago. We have an emerald tree boa. And then right down here is a close-up view of the scutes on a Cuban crocodile. So they're showing you a real close-up picture right here. Around the world. That's our next section. Alligators and crocodiles belong to a group of reptiles called crocodilians. There are 25 different kinds of crocodilians. They usually live in warm areas around the world. Crocodilians are never far from the water. They spend a lot of time in ponds, lakes, marshes, wetlands, rivers, and swamps. So I'm going to show you some of these pictures, and I'm going to read to you. This is called a gharial, and that's a gharial beside a lake. All right, over here we have a broad snouted caiman in a swamp, which is another type of crocodilian. And this is a slender snouted crocodile in a river. So aren't they kind of interesting? They're all very different than what we would probably think of as a crocodile or an alligator. Perfect for the water. Alligators and crocodiles are built for living in the water. Both alligators and crocodiles have these parts. So I'm going to try my best to show you these parts while I read the labels. So we'll start here. It's ears. Its ears are slits on its head. These slits close underwater. So if you've ever gotten water in your ears when you're swimming, they don't have that problem because they can close their ears. Next, we have their nostril, all right, which is your nose, and their eyes. So their nostrils are on top of its snout. Eyes are on top of its head. A crocodilian can breathe and see while the rest of its body is underwater. And its eyelids, that's the top part of your eye, each eye has a top and a bottom eyelid. A third eyelid is clear. It protects the eye while underwater. Isn't that neat? It can protect its eyes while underwater. Next, we have its lungs. Lungs are what help us breathe. Well, an alligator and crocodiles, they both have lungs. A crocodilian can hold its breath for up to 2 hours when its head is underwater for 2 hours. That's a long time. Its body actually floats very easily. Its feet are webbed like flippers, and they can help a crocodilian swim quickly through the water. So when you think of webbed feet, you might think of like penguins or ducks. All right, webbing means that between its fingers, right around here, is like an extra layer of skin to help them push more water. And crocodilians have a strong tail that pushes its big body through the water. And another quick little joke. What does a crocodile cook in? A crock pot. Crocodilians have excellent senses. They can see, smell, and hear better than many other reptiles. They see much better in the dark than we do. Crocodilians have special skin, too. They can feel something moving nearby. In muddy water, they can easily find their prey. So, their senses that crocs have is sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch. And prey is an animal that is eaten by another animal. And these are American crocodiles. And we can tell they're crocodiles because of their more pointed nose, or snout, I should say. Grabbing dinner. Crocodilians are carnivores, which means they eat meat. However, they are not picky eaters. You know what a picky eater means? It means someone who only likes certain things to eat. So if they're not picky, it means they'll eat just about anything. All kinds of fish, insects, birds, frogs, snakes, and mammals make a tasty meal. Even big animals such as the antelope and buffalo are on the menu. So this is a speckled caiman, and this is a Nile crocodile that tries to grab a wildebeest from the herd. Alligators and crocodiles can go for months without eating. But when they're hungry, watch out. A crocodilian waits for its prey to get close. Then it shoots out of the water and grabs the animal. Its big, strong jaws hold the prey underwater to drown it. Then the crocodilian gulps down dinner. I have another joke. What's worse than an alligator coming to dinner? 2 alligators coming to dinner. So this is a pretty neat picture of the alligator and his mouth, inside his mouth. And this is an alligator right here, getting ready to eat a wildebeest. Now we have 7 fun facts about crocodilians. Alligator teeth are hollow. So there's teeth. There's an alligator tooth. The inside is hollow. That means there's nothing in there. There is only one place on Earth you can find both alligators and crocodiles in the wild, and that's southern Florida in the United States. So that's in our country, right down here in that red spot. That's Florida. Crocodilians lose their teeth and get new ones all through their lives. So they're not like people. When we lose our baby teeth, we get grown-up teeth, and that's it. But when alligators and crocodiles and any other kind of crocodilian lose a tooth, they grow a new one, no matter how many times. Crocodilians grow a lot. Newly hatched young are less than a foot long, but adults are 10 to 20 feet long. Some crocodilians lay up to 90 eggs at one time. That's a lot of babies. All right, so just so you can see, that's a baby. And then this is a nest with all the eggs. It says mothers come running or swimming when they hear their young call for help. And like lions, crocodilians can roar. So right down here where my finger is, that's a crocodilian roaring. Its snout to me looks like an alligator snout. King of the crocs. The longest crocodilian is the saltwater crocodile. It can grow to more than 20 feet long and weigh over 2,200 pounds. It is an excellent swimmer and can travel far out to sea. Saltwater crocodiles may be the most dangerous crocodilians of all. They are most likely to attack, and they are deadly. So this is a photograph from a sanctuary in Australia. That's a place where they like to keep animals safe. So he's feeding one of them, and look how tall it is, and look how much it can power itself to jump out of that water. Nest and nursery. Most reptiles lay their eggs and leave, but crocodilians stick around. They stay close to the nest and protect their young. Some kinds of crocodilians build a mound of plants, mud, and leaves for a nest. Other kinds of crocodilians dig a hole for a nest. So in this, you can see two different types. We can see one right here where they're building a mound of leaves and plants. And then in this picture or photograph, they dug a hole. Which one do you think might be safer? You have any ideas? I don't know the answer to that. I think they just do what works for them, for their particular species and type, but it is interesting to think about. A mother crocodilian waits for a few months. When she hears squeaks from the eggs, she uncovers the nest and the eggs begin to hatch. The mother gently carries the hatchlings in her mouth. She takes them to the water for their first swim, and they're off. So as soon as she hears them making a sound, she uncovers that nest and then carries them in their mouth. She must have to be really gentle, huh? New crocodilians hatch every year, but sometimes more animals die than hatch. Crocodilians can become endangered. Endangered means they're at risk of not having any more in our country or in the world anywhere. American alligators were once endangered. Then laws were made to protect them. Their numbers grew. Now there are over 1 million American alligators alive today. Other crocodilians are now endangered. What can you do to help save these cool crocs and alligators? What do you think you could do? I'm sure at your age, the best thing to do is just to talk about it, to read about it and learn about it so that when you're older, you can maybe help change some of these laws to protect some of these creatures. So our little labels and caption says the most endangered species is the Philippine crocodile. There are only about 250 left in the wild. And this is the Morelet's crocodile, or Mexican crocodile, was once endangered. Now it is listed as of least concern. That means it's not endangered anymore, but we're not too worried, but we don't want to make sure that we don't stop worrying about it yet. So that was our book all about alligators and crocodiles. I hope now you're able to tell the difference between an alligator and a crocodile, and I hope you like learning a lot of interesting facts about them. Stay well, boys and girls.